Hawkeye signing in, and joining me, of course, is the
Hello, everybody.
one of two videos.
Perhaps we're not ready.
Farming and loadouts. What ships would be best for your playstyle? With specific ones.
Wait, your video.
Oh, is it?
Two are the last remaining members of
Go
your
back. Go right back. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Gaming, this is Hawkeye signing in, and joining me, of course, is the queen of the JRPGs, Ryu-chan.
Hello.
And today we are bringing you kind of a part one of two videos. This is because I have a few comments on the chip tutorial video that we made, which apparently is one of the only ones ever made, and on
Yeah,
like,
I don't see a lot of them on there.
It's so weird.
But we kind of were figuring it out as we went, because we had a basic idea and we had played around with it, and so we were trying to explain like stuff, but then we would get caught up because we'd be like, well, that didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. So we wanted to have a more condensed version. But first and foremost, we wanted to talk about
where to find
your chip
chips.
loadout, so that your chip loadout and how you maybe want to set them up, or even if you use them, I would highly recommend using chip loadouts and having different ones.
I don't
use
do
one
that. I'm bad like
farming.
that. But Ryu.
I have one set up for I have one set up for like most of my main gameplay, one set up for farming, and then one set up for if I want to have like high attack or a more of like a hacking one. It depends on who you like playing as. But we want to talk about like your chip loadout, chips you might want to have so you know what you want to farm for, and then how best to go about farming, how to set up your farming loadout for at least I think one of the best ways to do it, and then also where to farm a lot of the chips that a lot of people want to get. So when you start the game, we want to definitely one of the best places to start is going down to I think it's chapter 7.
Yep.
And then loading in. You can do it either at the flooded city, where you have to go to the flooded city, or when you're meeting Pascal. You'll have access to pretty much the entire map, all the areas that you need to get to at that point, and you should have most of the shortcuts. And you can play as either 9S or 2B. Certain hacking chips are only available during Route B, which is 9S's route, because they'll drop for him. I think a lot of them are mostly in the city ruins. So if you want hacking chips specifically, play as 9S. But pretty much all the other chips will drop for 2B. And, you know, she'll get some hacking chips, but I think that the general consensus for people playing it is 9S gets them more frequently, because obviously he's
I got a few STV, and I was like, what are these? I don't know. I can't hack.
I don't know if they drop from enemies, though, or if you got them from, like, boss fights, or you just found them in locations. So, play as whoever you want, depending on what you want, but you can get most of the chips as 2B. So, we're gonna load in, and real quick, I wanted to talk for like my set A loadout, which is pretty much what I use for a good chunk of the game. You kind of like build it to how you fight and how you want to, like, if you get hit a lot, you might want to have higher defense, and then like evade chips, which makes it easier for you to dodge, especially when you hit like bullet hell moments where you get like the big guys that are just shooting bullets everywhere and you're having trouble dodging when you're getting swarmed by little enemies. I like having the evade chips. It kind of reminds me of Bayonetta with Witch Time, because it slows things down while you dodge. High defense, decent attack, movement speed, like these are all kind of like good attack and defense. You know, auto heal is a blessing. I love auto heal, and I put that on everything, no matter what, just because it's like I don't have to think about healing myself as long as I'm not taking much damage. If I get hit once, I get auto healed in a few seconds, and we're all good. Especially when you have a really high chip. If you have a fight style that you're doing a lot of damage, like you have a lot of very fast weapons and you're in swarms, you're doing a lot of damage and maybe not necessarily killing them really fast, but a lot of damage. Offensive heal is an awesome chip to have. Me and Loki both use it for a lot of, like, I use it for a couple of my loadouts. I know Loki really likes it. Deadly heal, which is if you kill an enemy, you get heals back. So if you're doing, if you're killing things fast, and this is kind of depending on your difficulty, what level you're at, and all of that. So if you're at that point in the game where you're basically just like plowing through enemies, deadly heal like you'll just get all of your health back and you don't even have to worry about it. So max HP chips are really good. Having like your ranged attack, if you really like using your pod, ranged attacks, the ranged attack chip is great. I think there's also the ranged defense chips. So if you get hit a lot and you don't want to have the evade chip on and you want to be able to like handle being hit with the projectiles, you can do the ranged attack defense. So
yeah, the ranged attack one is something that, like, all right, if you're really having a really hard time with one specific boss and you just don't want to change your difficulty just for this one like fight, it is entirely possible to just cheese it. Like, just equip nothing but ranged attack chips, and then go to defense and equip nothing but anti-chain damage, and where is it? Offensive heal, because that does count as damage dealt, and auto heal. Like, every time they're not hitting you, you're going to be getting your health back. And you can just run around the boss and just hold down the trigger button. I mean, it's not the most honorable way of beating a boss, but hey, beating the boss is beating the boss. I mean, do what you got to do to get past it. Anti-chain damage is one that Ryu didn't mention, but it, in my opinion, is one of the most spectacular chips to have in a boss fight.
It stops you from getting stuck in a combo, like
exactly
in basically a stun lock. You know, in some games you get hit so many times and it'll stun your character a little bit, and then you just keep getting hit because you're getting stunned. And anti-chain damage is a great one to have. I would highly recommend. Between the two, I love dodging. It's like that's kind of like my whole play style is like, you know, always have the pod shooting, doesn't matter. You know, hitting things and getting them caught in combos and then dodging a lot. And I play really like fast and loose how I play the game, just because I really love fast-paced combat, and so that's how I like doing it. I don't really ever equip the anti-chain damage.
Oh no, I don't anymore since I got good at dodging. But I mean, it's also one of those things, like, if you're having a hard time.
If you're not really into dodging, and that's kind of this thing you don't really do, and you play like you want to do some massive damage and not stress about dodging and just be able to handle damage and stuff, having the anti-chain damage is great because it stops you from getting caught.
There's that one attack Eve will do in one of his stages at the final fight, where if you don't hit that first dodge, he hits you like 6 more consecutive times. But if you're even moderately good at dodging, it's not difficult to like hit that dodge. But if you're not good at dodging, the anti-chain damage, like, that seriously can save you like half your health bar, like, if it's your first time through the game.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, have your set A kind of be like your default. Like, that's what you use. So set it up with the chips that probably are going to work best for your playstyle, and don't be afraid to change that up.
Speaking of dodging, Ryu and I both love this one too. Evasive system. You get evasive. You get these 4 chips. Bullet detonation, which is when you hit those balls coming at you, they explode so they don't hurt you. Evasive system, which makes dodging even easier. Like, time will slow down when you're about to be hit by like an enemy projectile. All you have to do is tap R2, boom, you're good to go. And these two are just like, I guess, for farming or just exploring. Item scan and auto collect. Auto collect will make your life so much easier. But all 4 of these and Ryu's most hated chip in the game. Where is it? I know it's in here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Ryu knows the one I'm talking about. But all of those are available from Devila and Popola when you unlock them.
Yeah, so you have to be in basically Route C?
No, they unlock in Route A.
Do they unlock? Oh, near the end of Route A.
Yeah, Devil and Popola unlock after you beat the giant sea monster.
Okay, so, yeah.
Death Rattle, that's what it is. It's under hacking. Ryu hates that chip.
Devil and Popola have some really good chips you can get pretty late in the game, so I would highly recommend buying them just to have them in your inventory in case you want to use them.
Yep.
So basically we're going to break down set A, however your fighting style is. Just load that up with the things, you know, health, offensive, defensive, whatever you want to do.
So, Rio, I just had
B,
I just had an idea, and I know we didn't practice this,
what?
but I don't have type B or a C set up. We could totally build my B and C right now and give a perfect explanation.
Yeah. Okay. So set B. I'm gonna run through what my chips are.
So my A is my default, like Ryu said. It's your all around thing. You know, it's like
that's what you pretty much use for a good chunk of the game.
Yeah, this is what I have for my set A. I have all my HUD chips, and then I have weapon attack up, continuous combo. Oh, that's the other one that they sell. That's the other one that they sell. That's the one I was trying to remember. So if you really like those combos and fast attacking, and you can dodge, like, okay, so you get hit, time slows down from the other one. You hit that dodge, and then you can keep hitting and going into your combo with continuous combo. It's just so good. It's just so good. Oh, I do have an anti-chain damage. Look at that. I didn't even realize I had that on.
I believe what mine is. I have weapon attack, critical, and ranged attack. That's basically like my attack chips that I use, so I can do a good chunk of damage, have high crits, ranged attack, so my pod does damage, and my pods are all leveled up. But you know.
Oh yeah, level your pods, level your weapons.
Yeah.
Nothing else is more important. No, I mean,
awesome.
there are things more important, but like in terms of if you're trying to just beef up your character, nothing is more important than leveling your weapons and your pods, because it will save you so much trouble.
And focus on leveling the weapons that you like to use the most. And like we were talking about loadouts, weapon loadouts. Loki and I like having like one of each type of weapon, so we'll have like a light sword, a heavy sword, and then your second loadout is like a spear and some fist weapons. Just because having that ability to switch between different weapon types throughout the course of a battle is very beneficial, because all the enemies kind of do different things, and sometimes heavy swords, you don't want to be moving slow for some, especially when you're fighting like Adam or Eve. They're very fast.
Oh my god,
so you don't want to be very slow. You want to be quick, and you want to have your dodge or be able to handle damage.
Yeah, like I have just 2 quick loadouts right now, but what I normally would have is, alright, for my first loadout, I'd normally have like Angel's Folly, and then for my secondary, either a spear or something heavy to like come in, like I think probably Fang of the Twins. That's usually what I would do for my first loadout. Yeah, and on my second one, I would normally do like probably, let me see, Cypher Stick, just because of how fast it is, and then for a spear to go with it, something like, oh, here we go. Like, if you need defense, Groon Lance is great. But let me see, what is, there we go. Phoenix Lance. Attack speed up, so I don't lose any speed while switching to the Lance to back up the light sword. So I've got...
Yeah. Some of the weapons have, like, when you level them up higher, really awesome abilities.
Oh, yeah. Like, every weapon has that single ability. Yeah, like Rhea said, we're not going to cover that, but... Alright, see, the special abilities of the weapons, 1 through 3, they have that top one. And then, when you get to the 4th, when you get to Masamune, you unlock their second abilities, which just break them. They're fantastic. Yeah. You need it. That's what I meant, like, it would behoove you to do so.
Yeah. Play with your weapons, find out what you want to play. Your weapons might have an effect on what chips you want to use. Like I said, if you use faster weapons, heavier weapons, you know, if you take a lot of damage, if you need to dodge a lot, however you want to play. So, just set that up however you want. Also, if we forgot to say, we will put a little, like, note in the description after the stream. So if you want to know, like, just tell me how to do farming, I already know what chips I want, then you can just skip to that point. So for set B, what I have set up currently right now for my set, and I will show you how to get like this amazing chip to farm much easier, but I have it set up so I could do some decent attacks. So my weapon attack, my crit, my ranged attack, I kept those. Continuous combo, I have in there just because it's, because most of the time, like, there's a couple areas where basically you're fighting swarms of enemies, and I wanted to do, like, a mass amount of combo, because one of the areas you can go to is Adam's boss pit in the desert apartment complex, and there's just, enemies spawn constantly, and they're all over the place, so I put that on just because it was easier for me. You don't need to, but, like, have some good defense and attack, and, because you want to do a lot of killing fast, because this can take a while, even with the chip I'm going to tell you about. So for defense, just your basic defense. I had deadly heal because I'm killing things really fast, but you can have offensive heal if you're not killing things as fast. I have auto heal. Then there's like evade. Now, the chip I want to talk about, you definitely want to have in here is you want to have auto collect items because it's just easier. You're going to be killing a lot of enemies really fast. You don't want to be sitting there picking up everything, and you're going to get a lot of crap. It's not going to all be chips. You're going to pick up just a lot of items, and you're going to have so much crap to sell.
You'll be surprised at how quickly your inventory fills out, and it actually will require you to like dump some shit or destroy some chips.
But the chip I want to talk about that you definitely want to have is your drop rate up. Now the drop rate up chip makes it so that things drop, you get more items for killing enemies. And this is amazing because it makes it so much easier for you to, you know, get chips. Because the drop rates are not fantastic, and this makes it so much easier. You'll get, like I said, you'll get a lot of crap. A lot of items that you don't need for leveling or anything. But, you know, it also helps because you might get items to level up your weapons. So the drop rate up chip is key, and auto collect items. You can set up everything else however you want to attack. So what you want to do is the drop rate chips drop in a pretty specific location. It's very easy. And this is why loading at this point is important. You don't have to load at this point, but it opens up a good chunk of the map for farming. You want to be able to go to the amusement park, and you want to ride the roller coaster. So the roller coaster, you can get on multiple times and just ride it. You want to ride the roller coaster, kill enemies. The evade drop, or the drop rate chip will drop, and you might have to ride it a few times. But go ahead and just collect some drop rate chips. Just get a good chunk of them, because you're going to want to fuse them into a higher level. And I actually have 2 of the drop rate chips. I have a drop rate +2 and a drop rate +4 because I was trying to like save data space, and it's really hard sometimes to get the drop rate up chips that have a really low storage amount, and you know what, you don't want to spend all day doing that. So just get the best you can. When you go into your chips, there's that little number next to them in the bracket. That's your storage space, and that's how much space they take up within your loadout. So try and get the lowest numbers. Like say you've got one that's like worth 6 and another one that's worth 6. Fuse those together. Try and pick the lowest storage amount, and then fuse those together to get like a pretty decent amount. And like I think this +2 and +4, that puts me at a really high percentage that I can't remember what the I think it's like 80 for the maybe this one goes to 100, I can't remember, but there's a cap for how much percentage-wise it'll increase your stats.
It's 20. It's 20 or 30% for speed.
Is it? I thought it was like more like 40 or 50%.
I think it's 30.
Anyway, some have a cap where it only goes so much. So get your drop rate chips. Make sure you get those, put them in your loadout. Now that is your farming loadout. And when you want to go farming for some chips, depending on what chips you need, and I'll tell you some locations, like a few locations that are like really good areas for chips, and what chips you can get there.
Yeah, and as you just saw on screen, that's the Atom Pit that she was talking about earlier.
Yeah, so the Atom Boss Pit, so say you've got your drop rate chips, you've got your loadout, you're ready to go, let's go farming. So, the Atom Boss Pit is a great one. For one, if you want, and I highly recommend it, if you want to level up pretty good, why don't you throw like one of the experience up chips in that loadout as well while you're doing this, because you might as well. You're going to be facing hordes of enemies. It is a never-ending respawn of enemies. Like, you'll get the little bipeds, the big Goliaths, the little dudes that will explode. So you want to... I always have my trigger finger going for the pod, because I don't want to get blown up by those guys and just kind of run around. Exploded. But the boss pit, some great chips you can get from there is the charge attack, which means you can you know, hold down the attack button and get a good charge hit in. The counter, One, so if you time it right, you can counter an enemy when they attack you. Shockwave, evade range, which is also the one, because you have the evasive system on. Evade range basically like makes it so you don't the bullets or attacks don't have to be as close to you. Like it opens up the window for you to dodge much easier. So if you're not one of those people that's the last second dodger and you need a little extra time, the evade range chips are a blessing, and I love them, and I have them equipped because they're the best.
Yeah, I used them heavily when I was getting good at dodging, like on my original playthroughs.
And you know, once you get really good at dodging, you can go ahead and choose to drop those off. But I like having one equipped at all time because it just makes it, especially if you're in a bullet hell situation where there's just bullets flying at you constantly. The last chip that's a really good one to get is your movement speed chips. Now, this one's funny because I go in and I get shockwave, counter, sometimes evade range, and the other, like, charge attack and movement speed would barely drop for me. However, Loki goes into the pit and he just gets movement speed chips like they're candy. So, I can't per se, like, one drop rate. So I think it's just kind of luck of the draw with that. But those are some really good chips. You can get there. I don't know if there's other ones.
About to ruin their day.
Really good. Yeah. There is a good Reddit, I believe it's a Reddit thread that breaks down where you can get chips. So if you want a very specific chip, it'll break it down to attack, offensive, defensive. So I would definitely Google chip farming to find locations.
Some kind of crystal?
If you want specific ones. I'm only going to cover some of them. There's so many chips in the game. Some you only can get from vendors, some you get from very specific enemies. Another really good area is the...
Oh, and as you see on screen, this is the roller coaster she was referring to.
Yes, this is where you want to go to get your drop rate chips.
You can you can ride this thing as many times as you want.
Oh yeah, just hop off and hop back on and just take it for a spin. And if you get a drop rate chip, just equip that while you're trying to farm for a better one, because any little bit helps. The amusement park also has like a little biped, so if you want to go into like the opera house or if you want to go depending on where you want in the game. There's some good chips you can get from the amusement park. There's the damage absorption one. Let's see. Got critical up you can also get from here. Let's see. Experience gain up is also something you can get, and I think you can get those from the short studies. Yes, they are from the short studies, and you can get the experience one up. I don't know how if you want to kill them when they're kind of crazy, you can do it later on. You can drop speed if you want. If you're worried about killing all the super nice robots, but the short studies will drop the experience one. Another good area is the forest zone. What I do is, in the forest zone, I'll just walk in the front gate, and then I'll just do a freaking lap around the whole thing. You can also go in the castle, too, and just do a run of the castle, like, run through the whole thing, get up to where the forest king is, you jump down, and then just...
And once you beat the songstress, as you see, like, it doesn't make you jump off, that roller coaster will take you around and around and around again. All you have to do is jump off, jump back on train cars. Here we go again. So
for the forest zone, the chips you can get is the offensive heal chip, which is any damage you do to enemies, you get some of that health back. So it's kind of Bloodborne-ish.
That's the one that I love.
Where it was basically like if you do damage at a certain point, you can get your health back. So if you are like you do a lot of damage and do a lot of fast attacking, it's a really good chip to have. Your max HP, it raises your max HP. That's a good one to just always have.
You can't raise your max HP above 100%. Like I have 250%.
Yeah, that's it.
And if I tried, like when I tried to add another one, it said like, it wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, it'll let you know when you hit a max. It's like it'll only raise you up this much. It won't take you anymore. So having a good max HP chip is good. Deadly heal is the one where you kill enemies.
Yeah, offensive heal is getting health back as you deal damage. Deadly heal is getting health back as you kill enemies.
As you kill. So again, you can have both equipped, you can have one equipped. It's however your playstyles. Offensive heal I feel is better early on in the game because you're doing a lot of damage. It's just you're not killing things as fast. Deadly heal I equip later in the game when I'm kind of overpowered for everything. And I'm just kind of farming or leveling up for like a boss.
Yeah, and also like
fight.
there are some things you want to, like that are just obvious. You want to make sure you don't have equipped during like a boss fight. I mean, like okay, I always have my item pickup when equipped, but like I did use Deadly Heal for a while when I didn't have very good offensive heal chips. But I mean, it makes no sense to use a chip that gives you health back as you kill enemies when you're fighting a single enemy and dealing a lot of damage to it.
Yeah. The last chip you can get from the Forest Zone, that's a really good one, is anti-chain damage. You can also get that chip from the Forest Zone. And these are like the bipeds, the short stubbies with the spear. The spear ones, any of the spear wielders drop some good chips. And then I think there's a certain chip, and I can't remember which one, that drops from the actual guys riding the, like the, I guess the kind of stag robot. So there's the guys that are on the mounts. They drop specific chips, and I can't remember which one that is. Sorry, like I said, there is actually a breakdown. Like people have done like where to go farming for stuff, and like there is a Reddit subreddit thread that has a really good breakdown.
We'll put a link in that in the description.
Yeah, we will after the fact. Flooded City is a great one to get if you want to get your ranged attack or just up your weapon attack. Those chips are in the Flooded City, and it's really just go through. It's a short area too, so any of the enemies just run through. Where we are in the game, you don't want to be all the way at the end because you don't want to start that mission. So go down a certain way and then just run back, and you can reload your save to kind of respawn the enemies if you need to. But that's a good area to get your range attack and weapon attack up ones. The City Ruins Cave. Now, you can get some chips from other things, but this chip in particular, in the City Ruins Cave, down where the water is, if you go down the ladder in the center of the City Ruins, where you first see, like, where you first meet Adam and Eve when they're not naked and screaming, and then you find out about the truth of the alien invaders, you can get the auto heal chip. And I cannot remember which enemy it's from. I just know I do pick it up when I run through there. So if you want that auto heal chip and you want a good one, highly recommend running through that cave a few times, just back and forth,
You get resilience from the big guys here in the forest.
Yeah. I think in the I can't remember which chips you get. I feel like it was like you could get Shockwave and some of the Combust and some of those other chips that are kind of like you feel like they don't drop anywhere else. You can go down to the copied city where you meet Adam.
The Adam pit. Not often, but sometimes.
Sometimes it's not a great drop rate, and I feel like I got like Combust and certain other
like offensive heal is with those knights who ride the horses, and then...
Yeah, like because I think I got Combust and there was Stun and some of the other ones. Overclock. Oh, Overclock I think is one of the ones, and Vengeance. I think you can get from the copied city. So in the water cave, there's that. If you go down the path, instead of going to where the aliens are, there's a little tunnel you can go to, which is an elevator, and you can't access it at this point in the game. So I would access it in Route C, which might be easier because you're not running against the clock. You're like, you have to go here immediately. So I would go down in Route C with either A2 or 9S, go down to the copied city and just farm the crap out of that if you want to get like Vengeance, and I think Overclock is on there. I feel like Vengeance is one of the ones because it was like it feels like it doesn't drop anywhere else. But the copied city is a good place to go to get some of those other chips, and they seem to mostly drop there. I feel like I only either pick them up randomly or you can buy them from vendors, but I feel like they drop in the
Deadly Heal, Anti-Chain, Deadly Anti-Chain.
The last major area where you can get some good chips is the City Ruins. Now, this is where you can get Hijack Boost and some of the other hacking stuff only in 9S. So it's Route B only, so you can only play as 9S. And heal drops up seems to drop more So that's where if you use a lot of like healing potions and stuff, it, you'll get those drops a lot in the city ruins.
You mean auto use item?
No, it's heal drops up. So it's
Oh yeah,
yeah. That drop. I mean, after a certain point, you really don't need to use items, especially if you have really good like auto heals and stuff. There should just really no reason. You kind of have them just in case you happen to get a little crazy low in the middle of a boss fight and you want to heal real fast. But like after a certain point in the game, you really don't need them.
If you're one of those people who actually utilizes self-destruct, you know, unlike everyone else who actually just fights, you want auto use items.
Yeah. That's if you end up doing that. I don't really use the self-destruct all that often.
Like, or ever.
But
well, no, okay. If you use self-destruct for tactical purposes, then you're probably going to want to have the auto-use item equipped. Yeah.
Alright.
Hey, tactical purposes.
Yeah. Okay, so in the city ruins, you can also get down, attack, up. So basically, when you're using heavy weapons, you know how sometimes you can do like an aerial attack that slams to the ground.
Where in the drowned city, Ryu, did you say that stuff drops?
Just all over. You want to definitely run around. Just run through and attack enemies. And like the big bipeds and the little guys, everybody kind of drops. And I think the aerial guys that show up here, there's only a couple of them. But they'll drop some chips too.
Yeah, you need to let them get over the bridge or you won't be able to get their stuff.
Yeah, so you can go almost all the way to the end before it'll try and
ranged attack up, yeah. These guys have ranged attack up.
Yeah, ranged attack up also will drop in the city ruins as well. And you can also get the critical chip in the city ruins. And that's just running around. It's mostly the little biped guys, I guess the short stubby and then the bigger biped guys. So, I think that you can there's a couple of bipeds, like the big bipeds, the medium bipeds, that are over by the entrance to the desert. And then you can go into the main pit, in the center to kill enemies. But like, as you run around the city ruins, you can actually get any of those chips. So hijack boost if you're in route B, down attack, up, ranged attack, and critical. So those are a lot of the chips. There are several other chips, and there's lots of little areas you can go to. Like some chips will only drop from very, very, very specific enemies. Like sometimes you have to go into the factory underneath the factory.
Oh my god, yeah, fucking. Later on. Yeah, those little spider things that cling to the walls. They drop, I don't remember what it is, but they drop one specific item, and they're the only, like, fucking enemy that drop it in the entire fucking game.
Yeah, and there's, like, there's other chips, and, like, it's just little chips that some people might use. Like, I don't know, the overclock one first dropped from Emperor, if I remember. I don't remember exactly, but... Like, there's certain enemies in the game are the only enemies that will probably drop this chip. So having your drop rate up chips with your farming those, especially from those enemies that like you might spawn in an area and then you have to reload the whole thing, but it helps. And like, expect to take a while to get certain chips. Like the Atom boss pit is probably one of the easiest just because enemies are spawning constantly and you're in one location. And like I said, I would have experience up because you're going to be killing so many enemies anyway. You might as well up your experience and get yourself leveled up for the harder stuff later on in the game.
Are there any places that I didn't go to show where to go? Went to...
Amusement Park, Atom Boss Pit, Forest Zone, Flooded City, City Ruins. I mean...
City Ruins. Where in the City Ruins? Oh, the crater?
You can go in the crater, or just run around in general. Like,
oh, wait, yeah. Wait, there's one that drops in the crater, and that's the best place to get it. I don't remember where it is. Or what it is.
Well, there's the auto heal that you can get from the cave underneath, which is a good one to get.
Well, that's where our teleport is to, so that works.
Critical chips will also drop in the City Ruins. Unfortunately, I mean, this pretty much covers most of the map, but those are where you can find certain chips in certain areas. So, like I said, this is based off your loadout. Kind of figure out like what chips you want to have for your loadout, and then go find out where that chip is, and then just head on over and start farming for that chip. And once you have a good chunk like 5 or 6 of every type of chip at varying degrees, then that's when you want to like save, and then we'll launch into our fusion tutorial about how you want to go about fusion. And you might have to do this a few times to get like the optimal chip that you want to get, because a lot of the time you'll get chips and you think, yes, I got all of these chips, and then you look and their storage space is ridiculous. And unfortunately, the better storage space, lower numbers, only drop every once in a while. So it's a lot of like you farming and then going, well, this one's way too much. And I'll never
auto heals here in the cave.
There's gonna be, and you can only carry so many chips. So when you finish kind of farming, I would highly recommend going through all of your chips, and all the ones that basically go over 10. For sure, just sell them.
Unless there's a diamond next to it, sell it.
No, don't. Not even that. Not even that. It's not worth it. It will never be worth it. Anything that goes over 10
my 2
space,
health plus my 2 50% health chips are both 14, and they're both diamonds.
Plus 5 or 4, 5, 6, any of those that are only 10 spaces and are a black diamond, just don't have them. Anything that goes into the double digits, you don't really want to have it, especially if it's a low plus amount. So if it's like, if it's you know, an experience gain plus 1 chip and it's 15 slots, you don't need it. And if you don't have any more of those chips and you really just want to use it for now until you get a better one, feel free. But you don't want to have chips that go into the double digits, like for storage space. It's really not worth it. So after every farming bout, you want to go through your inventory, go ahead and just sell those higher storage amount chips. You'll get more, don't worry. You can farm for every chip. Any ones that you can buy only are going to give you the lowest.
Here's a prime example of what Ryu was talking about. Like, I have 2 heal drops up plus 6 that are diamonds at 14. But I have a heal drops up plus 3 that's not a diamond. It costs 21. Diamond means that's the lowest, the lowest possible storage for that level. So, like, there will not be a plus 6 heal drops up that costs less than 14 slots. But this plus 3, this is absurd.
They're ridiculous. And you get them from chests, or they drop randomly from enemies, or don't buy chips from vendors unless you really need that chip for now and you're farming for a better version of that chip. Don't really buy chips from vendors are really expensive. The only instance where you want to do that is you can only get that chip from that vendor, like Devila and Popola.
Yeah, but those chips, like, those are like singular chips. They don't have a plus on them because they don't level up. Those are the only ones. They do this one thing, and there's no, like, percentage about how you do it. You can also get some cool chips that cost like 1 or 2 for your basic system stuff from the actual chip fusion expert in the game. She's that lady by the little area, the sick bay. Oh, I forgot about her.
You can buy some chips from her, and she'll optimize your chips for you if you don't really know what you want to use. Like, she's great at the beginning if you don't know what you want to use, because she'll look at your chips and be like, these will probably be best. And they give you a very balanced play, and it's great to start there and then see what chips you want, and then maybe replace them with better chips later. But really, don't buy chips from vendors unless they're like a one-time, like they're a one, like this is the only chip you can get of this, and there's no percentage, like Devil and Popola. Emil sells some good chips, but they're spendy storage space wise.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that one I was just showing you, the one I just showed on screen, the plus 3 that was 21. I'm pretty sure I bought that from Emil, like, because I wanted to make sure I had at least one of every chip, because he will sell. Sometimes you'll find him and he'll sell plus 3s, but then another area, like every time you find him, he has like what 4 or 5 different areas. One of the areas he sells every version of, like, a version of every chip at plus 3, and then another time you find him, he sells a version of every chip at plus 6.
Yeah,
but they cost
take up a lot
insanely way too much.
Another chip vendor is if you're in the forest zone and you go down into the ravine that leads you to that underground area under the bridge that goes to the shopping center. There's a little dude down there in that little in-between area. He is another vendor that has, like, I think he has like Overclock and Vengeance and all those.
Actually, Ryu, he's the master chip vendor too. Like, Masamune is the master weaponsmith. Like,
yes,
the
that little
woman,
guy is the master chip vendor.
the
He
chip
will give you the
vendor
best.
in the resistance
he'll give you,
camp.
like,
She
some of the
won't
best
fuse your
chips.
chips higher than level 6. So, or no, higher than level, like, she'll fuse it to level 6, but that's it. So if you want to fuse to level 7 or 8, you need to go and see him, in the ravine, and he will like fuse your chips to the max. But because she won't, but he will.
Yeah, so we'll cover this again in the other one, and we'll actually show you where that one is. But yeah, you can only fuse your chips up to 5 or 6. 6. And then if you want to fuse it to 7 and 8, you need to go to that chip vendor, because they're the ones that'll do it. Because yeah, Masamune is the only one, the weaponsmith, the only one that can make your weapons level 4. Like, there's the other weapon vendors you can go to that will fuse your weapon up to a certain point, but Masamune is the only one that will max you out. And likewise, and we'll show you where he is in the next video. But I think we've covered everything. Again, we'll put a little blurb in the description below after the stream. Yeah, possibly. And let you know where we start talking about the farming.
Yeah, I'm gonna head there right now.
Yeah, play around with what chips you want to use. Use your loadouts. I mean, A can always be the one where you're like, I feel most comfortable with this, but like, play with your other ones. I use B for farming. There'll be I'm at a point in the game, I don't really need to farm anymore, so I probably don't even need to use that. And then use Loadout C. These are great. These are just really great because it doesn't mean you screw anything up. So if you really like having a fighting
they're only
style,
bonuses. There are no negatives.
Yeah, there's no negatives to this. So use your loadouts. They're awesome. And then you can try out other chips. When I was using 2B, I had it very high damage and just like a lot of healing that happens because I'm doing so much damage, and just critical, all of that stuff. Just, I was like a glass cannon. I just went in. It was just very high offensive, and chips you can use for that. Later on, when I asked this 9S, I had it as my hacking loadout, so I utilized it to have pretty good attack and defense, but also buffed the hacking for 9S and kind of upped his whole deal so that I could do more stuff with hacking, because hacking's a really big part of his gameplay, especially when you're fighting certain bosses. So play with your loadouts, find out what chips you want, go to those areas. Don't forget, drop rate chips are the best. Go to the amusement park, ride the roller coaster.
Here he
get
is.
A decent chip. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is where the chip vendor, or
the canyon machine.
Master chip vendor. Yeah. He is down here.
Fuse.
And you can only access him once you have the forest zone unlocked, which is why we have you load in here. But I think that pretty much covers everything.
Yeah, as you can see, he can see your plus chips, and if you talk to, I can't remember her name, it's driving me crazy. If you talk to the woman, the chip fusing woman at the resistance camp, she won't even like once they hit rank 6, they don't even show up on this list. Like, it only shows ranks 1 through 5, or 0 through 5, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll only go up to a certain amount. So I think
but
that
here,
pretty much
I can go ahead
everything.
and fuse both of these.
Yeah. I think that covers everything. We'll go ahead and we'll put all that information that you need in the description below after the stream. And then we're going to go over and play with it a little bit and try and find out like the best way to explain the chip fusing. Try and be as succinct as possible. Sorry if we rambled on in this one. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all for us right now for this. So have fun farming. Have fun figuring out your playstyle and chips you want to use. Have fun with chips. They're awesome. And it's probably one of the best parts of this game. So yeah.
Yes, definitely. Alright, did we forget anything? Miss anything? Before we
I think we're good
sign
for
out?
right now.
Alright, I will go in and put timestamps in this video. Hopefully at some point today. If it doesn't happen today, it will be tomorrow, because we will actually be doing... Man, why can't I climb that rock? There we go. We will be making that other video probably either maybe today, but
today or tomorrow.
yeah, it'll be today or tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be this weekend, but I can't guarantee it'll be today. We're starting We're starting a let's play of Until Dawn. So if you like horror games, definitely check it out. And I can't think of anything else for you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
So, bye everybody. I hope this was somewhat helpful. Again, there's a lot of, at this point, there's a lot of websites you can go to like, if you want to find a very specific chip, you can Google them. A lot of wonderful, helpful people have spent hours of time finding out where very certain chips drop and where like the best drop rate areas. So if you find a chip you like, you can just Google it, like a good drop rate. There's plenty of people that have areas that they've dropped. I've only just named a few really good areas where they drop, they drop from certain enemies in different areas. So anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry if we rambled on, and I guess we're done here. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. This is Hawkeye and Ryu signing out. We'll see all you wonderful viewers in the next video.